All right, so in the last video, I gave you some percents as fractions. So we're going to write a key idea. Okay. And the key idea is that when you have a percent, it is a fraction out of 100. When you have a percent, it can be written as a fraction out of 100. So it doesn't matter what percent you start with. You can give some in the chat and we'll talk about it. But let's say you started with 17%. Well, 17% is just going to be 17 out of 100. What if you started with 33%? 33% is going to be 33 out of 100. What if you started with 54%? 54% is going to be 54 out of 100. Now hold up, Miss Miller. What about 100%? Well, 100% is 100 out of 100. Okay, all of these things are that number out of 100. Okay, so take a minute, make sure that you have some examples, and then we're going to do a try it, and then I'm going to extend this opportunity. So I'm going to start on a new page. Okay, try these three: 43%, 92%, and 121%. So go ahead and write those three things as fractions. Pause the video and write those three things as fractions. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you're back. So let's write this as a fraction. 43% means 43 out of 100. Done. If you got 43 out of 100, give yourself a star. Nice job. 92% is 92 out of 100. Done. If you wrote 92 out of 100, give yourself a star. Nice job. 121% is 121 out of 100. Done. If you wrote 121 out of 100, give yourself a star. Now, if you took it an extra step and you rewrote this as a mixed number because you noticed the numerator was bigger, you would have 1 and 21 hundredths. This is also an acceptable answer. But 121 out of 100 is perfectly fine. You can keep it that way. Give yourself stars for that. Nice job. Okay, so let's extend this. Okay, so as an extension, we're going to start with 30%. So we're going to write this as a percent. And we know that the first thing we do is we write it as 30 out of 100. But now that we know about writing equivalent fractions and equivalent ratios, because we learned about it earlier, we can rewrite this with smaller numbers. Because 30 out of 100, those are big numbers, right? So let's reduce the fraction. Okay. In order to reduce the fraction, remember, we need a number that divides 30 that also divides 100. What number divides 30 that also divides 100? Now, there are a few. There's 1, 2, 3 of them. The one I'm thinking of is 10. So I can reduce this fraction by dividing by 10 in the numerator and the denominator. 30 divided by 10 is 3, and 100 divided by 10 is 10. So 3/10 is another way to write 30%. These are equivalent. So 3/10 is the same as 30%. Okay, so not only can we write it as something out of 100, but then we can reduce it. Let's try another one. Okay, let's try 25%. Okay, I'm going to do the same exact steps. We're going to start by writing it as out of 100. So 25% is 25 out of 100. Okay. Now the next step is to reduce the fraction. Reduce. So what number divides 25 that also divides 100? Now this one's a little tricky, but I know I can count by 5s to get to 25, and I can count by 5s to get to 100. So I can divide by 5 in the numerator and the denominator. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 100 divided by 5, well, I'm not great at that, so I'm going to do it by hand. 100 divided by 5. 5 goes into 1 0 times. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 5 goes into 0 0 times. So